Approaching a girl who is by herself is different than approaching a girl who is with her friends. Her friends end up being one more variable that can make or break your chances. Let's just take a typical daytime scenario where you approach a girl with her friends during the day and see how that normally plays out. So you see a hot girl, she happens to be with her friends, you go and approach the hot one. You talk to her for maybe a minute to 5 minutes while completely ignoring her friend, and seems to go well. You get the girl's phone number and you leave. Now, while you were talking to that girl, her friend was left there, sitting there with nothing to do except watch and listen as you chat up her friend. Now, while that's happening, usually resentment and jealous will begin to build because you're completely ignoring her and leaving her left out. So as soon as you leave, you'll get a massive cock block coming your way, and you will never see it because it'll happen once you leave. So as soon as you've left, she's gonna go to her friend. That guy was such a loser. Why were you giving that guy your number? Don't tell me you're actually considering seeing this guy again. Everything gets vomited out against you because you've essentially put her out to dry. You made her jealous. You made her feel bad by leaving her out of the conversation and leaving her out of any kind of attention. And of course, if a girl has to pick between her reputation with her friends or some random guy that she just met, she's going to take the reputation. Her reputation is 1,000,000 times more important to her than some random guy that she meets at the gym or at the bus stop or on the street, anywhere like that. So she's going to choose her opinions of the friends 90% of the time to preserve her reputation and status with her friends. Because if she were to say, you know what, screw my friend, I'm actually going to go out with this guy, she would lose status with her friends. And that's the worst thing to ever happen to girls. So how do you avoid having this happen? How do you avoid the covert cock block that happens as soon as you leave? And what I've found that actually works is to actually talk to both the girls or all the girls that are in the group. You just ask generic questions and you don't direct your questions to anyone specific. You address the entire group. So what are you girls up to tonight? Let them all answer, let them chime in. And you talk to all of them for 1 to 5 minutes, and then you say, you girls seem pretty cool. What are your names and phone numbers? And go to each and every one of them and get their names and phone numbers. Now, it's important to remember the hot one's name because that's the one you're going to be texting later. You don't want to be grabbing a bunch of phone numbers and names and you can't remember which one you are actually interested in. So remember the hot one's name, the one that you're interested in, and that's all you have to remember, that one's name. Now this does a couple of things. One, it prevents girls from getting butthurt about you approaching their friend, because you never actually focused in on anyone. So there's no one to really get jealous about. No one feels left out. No one feels resentment build, because you addressed all of them and you all introduced yourself to all the girls. You know all their names, and it creates a kind of a competitive environment where they get to see which one gets the guy at this point. And girls love competition. It's a lot better than leaving them out and neglecting them. So they'll all be talking about ooh, I wonder who he's going to text. They'll all be excited about potentially meeting you and who's going to win. Who's going to have the highest status, that the guy that you were actually interested in. So when it comes time to text the number that you have, I try to time it where the girls aren't going to be together. Usually later on in the evening when I think the girl will be by herself. This just prevents the girls from influencing her decision to see me again. So I'll usually text in the evening time, sometime to arrange a time to meet up with them. Now, of course, they're going to text the other friends to find out if they got the text as well. And she'll soon find out that, nope, Only she was the one who got the text. Now, this is a status boost for her because of all the girls, she got the text and no one else did. And so she's going to tell her friends, like, oh, like the guy texted me, like he didn't text you. And all of a sudden her status gets bumped up, and her friends can't all of a sudden try to convince her to not see you. They can't call you a loser at this point because they were all excited about meeting you just a couple hours earlier. So they can't be like, oh, like you're going to actually go out with this guy? No, they can't cock block you at this point. She won the competition, so she gets the guy. So that's why this works. It creates a competitive environment instead of like a cock block environment where they want to like tear you down instead of build you up. So this is a daytime environment. In nighttime environments, it's a little bit different where there's alcohol involved. In these environments where you talk to a girl and you talk to her friend and they both seem into you, it's better just to invite both of them home with you instead of trying to peel one away from the other. This creates a massive, like, you need a wingman to cover the other girl, and it just causes a host of headaches when you can just bring them both home for drinks at your place. Now, and before you do this, it's usually better to gauge their kind of like sexual openness by asking them if they've ever made out with each other. Because this way you get an idea of how comfortable they are with each other sexually. And if they're like, oh, hell no, like we'd never do that, then yeah, you might have to try to steal her away from her friend. But if they're kind of open to it or they've done it before, then just invite them both back. It's a lot higher probability play than trying to extract one from the other. Alright guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching.